What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Poppy Joe's Pastures. This week, I'm gonna take y'all along for a week in the farm life for us. So let's just get right into it. We have a pond emergency. It is so high. Doug dug this little trench to start pouring some down. But it's been raining for 2 days and this is just really a problem. I should probably help. I vote for the pond pump.
Maybe.
Yes.
Agree. Pump would help a little bit. It would just flood the field, which would hurt our grass. And at the end of the day, this has to be cleared.
That was my contribution. Dirty man. Alright, so this is the chicken hawk netting. I guess we'll call it before, because we're about to take these posts and plant them in the middle so that it gives us some more level net and some height to kind of walk around in there. Look at my babies. Hi, my babies. Hi. Oh, yes, big stretch. Big stretch. Hi. Yes, you sniffed the camera. So I just got inside from doing work outside. So now it's like 5 to like 7, 7:30. I'm outside doing work. And then I get inside and I'm pregnant. And I literally cannot even move. Like I cannot get off of the couch. I'll come inside and I'll sit on the couch because I'm like, let me just take a second to just like breathe and relax. And then I can't get up. And then Doug comes inside at like 8 thinking that like I have dinner ready. And then I'm like, can you go get us Chipotle, please? So I'm trying to be better. And what I realized last week is if I make like some type of roast or like a pulled pork, something that's just braised in the oven that I literally put in at 3 p.m. and just forget about it, so that all I have to do when I come in is shred it and, you know, have some rice or whatever. I had to check my rice. That is my vibe, and so I'm trying to be better with that. So tonight I have an Asian pot roast in the oven that I'm gonna have with rice, which is also perfect for leftovers for lunch. And then also I made some sourdough pizza dough because tomorrow all I'll have to do is just make a little pizza. And to some that might sound like a lot of work, and it is a little bit more work than tonight's dinner, but it's pizza. And the baby loves pizza, so I'm cool with it. I'm just making a huge batch of rice. I'm making a huge batch just because we're gonna have leftover pot roast, and rice is like a good side for chicken with lunches and stuff. I don't think I need to go over making rice, but the way I make it is 1 cup of rice to 1 1/4 cup of water. So I made 2 cups, so there's 2.5 cups of water. I had to think about it. Once I put it up all the way on high, once it boils, I put it all the way back down to the simmer and I add a lid, and then it'll be ready in like 15 minutes. And then I add a lot of butter to it because butter makes everything better. And now I have my pot roast in here. So I'm gonna add all of the ingredients to the screen right here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, frankly, it doesn't look too appealing, but it's very tender. It's just shredding right into pieces. And there's a little bit of sauce at the bottom, but honestly, it could be a little bit saucier. This plus a little rice makes this. The final product, it might not look good, but it sure does taste good.
That's okay.
It looks like a bunch of slosh. The last thing I want to do tonight is I have this sourdough pizza dough that's been proofing pretty much all night. So what I'm going to do is just form this into 4 or 5 individual doughs. That's my dog being crazy. Whoa, whoa! Note to self, don't tip the thing towards the camera. All right, holy guacamole. I've got 6 pizza doughs portioned out. They're kind of small, so they're gonna be like very personal style pizzas, which is perfect for tomorrow night. Good morning. We're out here for our morning weeding session and dog walk, which is always fun. That's all for my little sunrise weeding. 20 minutes every day is the goal in the morning before work. All right, another day of work is in the books. I have some minor gardening to do with some weeding, just watering, making sure that everything is looking good, adding a little bit of fertilizer here and there. But what y'all get to see is Doug cut this pasture for the first time since the fall. So Doug loves his tractor, we love the tractor, shout out to UIM. And now you get to watch him cut, which I always think is satisfying, and it smells just so delicious. So here we go, Doug. Dinner is served. Happy hump day. And a little Caesar salad. It's Friday Eve, one of my favorite days of the week. And today we're working on the chicken coop some more, and that's really what we're working on. I did want to give a public service announcement. If you need mulch, call your local tree company. Right, Doug?
Right.
Don't be too excited.
I'm just worried about this net.
Doug is dealing with the monstrosity of a net while I do nothing. But we had some trees cut down, and Doug tells me that the tree companies actually have to pay to get rid of the mulch. And so we called them back and said, hey, can we get some mulch? And they added us to the list. This was also yesterday. And then today, 2 times, this truck shows up and gives us all of this mulch for free. If it's free, it's me. Is this a pitchfork?
Yeah.
Wait, when did we get one of those?
Yeah.
I wanted one of those for the garden. I didn't think that we had one. So all of this mulch is for me and for my garden. None of it's for Doug. I'm kidding. Kind of, not really. But really though, we're gonna use a ton of this in the garden. Doug will use it for other things too, but I call dibs. Ha 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 ha. Alright, that might be it for our Friday Eve activity, but I'm feeling ecstatic about it. Doug
Ecstatic.
doesn't seem ecstatic, guys, but he's ecstatic. It is Friday, happy Friday, and I'm feeling lazy as heck, and Doug is being the king, and he's tilling the second half of the garden for me so that tomorrow I could just get right in, do some weeding, pull out some grass, plant tomatoes, plant peppers, mulch everything. So thank you, Doug. And let's just get into it today. I don't think we're gonna be out here too long. I feel like we always make plans to do a ton of stuff on Friday, and then Friday comes and it's like, I just wanna sleep. So. It's Saturday, which is our biggest work day of the week, and we're gonna be in the garden. Doug has been mowing, he's about to help me, and we are gonna transform this garden with mulch, with soil, with raking and weeding, and the second half is ready to be planted between today and tomorrow. This is before. And I don't even feel like talking about everything that we're gonna do. We're just gonna do it and you guys can watch. Good morning. So I barely lasted yesterday. I maybe lasted an hour. And then I went inside and watched the Masters and took a nap. So I have a lot to catch up on today. It's Sunday. Doug yesterday helped me with some of this gardening and the mulching. And then once I was like, I'm out, I have to go inside, he did some cutting of the grass and was working on some of these trees that are down in our pasture. And today, that's kind of his continued work. I just need his help a few times to give me a few more loads of mulch with the tractor. But for me, what I want to work on is finishing pulling the grass and weeds out of this new area. I want to add, and then I'm going to add some of this compost topsoil and a few wheelbarrows here. I'm gonna rake it in and then hopefully plant my tomatoes and peppers that I've been hardening off for like 2 weeks at this point because I keep pushing back the plant date, and go from there and see how much we can get done in the next 3-4 hours.